Congressional leaders head to the White House tomorrow amid reports of a brewing mega debt deal. There are also reports tonight that Republicans have already agreed to as much as $200 billion in increased revenues as part of debt negotiations. They are denying it. I would just say, please say it ain't so. What happened, by the way, to full-fledged business tax reform that would grow the economy and create jobs? Well, here to react to all of these rumors, we have Colorado Democratic Senator Michael Bennet and Wyoming Republican John Barrasso, who was vice chair of the Senate Republican Conference. Gentlemen, thank you very, very much. Senator Barrasso, let me start with you. I want to ask you about all these tax increase rumors. I had calls from Senator McConnell's office. I had calls from Senator Kyle's office. They say it's not true. I have not had a chance to make contact with House Majority Leader Eric Cantor's office. What's going on, Mr. Barrasso?
I was in the leadership meetings today, Larry. There is no Republican in the Senate that I know who's interested in raising taxes on anyone at times with 9.1% unemployment, 14 million people looking for work. We need to put people back to work, get some certainty into this economy, and raising taxes is the exact wrong thing to do. The Republicans in the Senate are against it.
Mr. Bennet, by the way, welcome to the show, sir. I want to ask you, Senator Kyle's office told me that they're talking about asset sales and user fees, none of the business deductions, corporate jets, oil and gas, and so forth. What is your reaction to that, Senator?
Well, I heard him say that earlier today. My reaction generally is this, that I would like to see a comprehensive deal. I'd like to see a large deal. I'd like to see the kind of tax reform that you mentioned a minute ago as part of the deal. I think the Wall Street Journal editorial this morning, from my perspective, got it right. And from the perspective of people in my state, Republicans and Democrats, they're about ready to give up on Washington because they see the partisanship here and they think it's actually not doing anything for them to put them back to work. So their standard on the plan is, does it materially address the problem? Are we all in it together? Is it bipartisan? And I would add a corollary that simply that whatever we do needs to satisfy the capital markets, that our paper is good. Beyond that, it's details.
Senator, by the way, Senator Bennet referred to the Wall Street Journal editorial, which called for full-fledged business tax reform, 15 to 25% rate, and get rid of all the deductions. That, of course, is my first choice. Senator Barrasso, how far away are we from a full-fledged business tax reform as part of the package? Devin Nunes, House member Devin Nunes, told me last night on the radio there's just not enough time for that business tax reform. Is he right?
I think that we don't have enough time to do the business tax reform that is necessary in this country. Luke Russert was on early in this show talking to you, Larry. He talked about the time that is ticking quickly by. We need full tax reform in this country. I clearly read and agree with the things in the Wall Street Journal today, and I like that lower number toward the 15% as opposed to the 25%. But even Bill Clinton says that our tax rate, we're becoming uncompetitive. And that's a real problem for us, where we ought to be leading the world as innovators and in terms of competition in global markets. And we're not there anymore. And it's because a number of things, and one of it is the corporate tax rates.
Senator Bennet, there's talk today that President Obama wants a large, go big, large debt deal, $3 to $4 trillion. I'm just going to guess that would have to include some kind of entitlement reductions. What are you hearing? What are you thinking about going big, $3 to $4 trillion in spending cuts?
Look, 2 months ago, I wrote a letter to the president saying that we ought to have a plan that involves discretionary spending cuts, both military and non, entitlement reform and tax reform. And I asked Mike Johans, a Republican from Nebraska, if he'd sign that letter with me, and he did. He got 32 Republicans on it. I got 32 Democrats on it. We have all notionally, not all of us, but a number of us notionally agreed where we need to get to. And what we've got to do now is not let the politics in this town destroy the possibility of our being able to create a comprehensive deal. And, by the way, driving innovation in this economy. As you know better than most, this is the first time in our country's history when we're actually seeing median family income fall. That's a disaster for the people in my state, and the only way we're going to deal with that is with job creation and innovation in the United States.
Senator Bennet, you got 64 senators, I think you said, both sides of the aisle. Do you have President Obama, and does the deal include Medicare?
I don't know the specifics of the deal that's being negotiated right now. I do think that he has expressed interest in a comprehensive deal, and he has said that we need to look at our entitlements as part of that.
Senator Barrasso, what about cut cap and balance? I guess that's the watchword. Cut spending, have a balanced budget, and have spending caps inside this deal. Are those things still on the table, or have they been dissed?
Those are still on the table. Those are still critical issues for what we need to do as a nation to get people back working again. And you know the best way to increase revenue is by having a growing, vibrant economy and getting people working. We need to cut what we're spending. We need to cap the amount that we're spending in terms of a percent of the gross national product. And ultimately, we need a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. We have that in Wyoming. Many states have that. Families have to live within their means. It is time for Washington to get in line with families all across the country, live within its means. So I actively support a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution. And I did sign on to Senator Bennett's letter because we need to get the president engaged, but he has really been more on the sidelines yelling at the people on the field. He needs to get more engaged. I'm glad tomorrow he's going to do that.
Senator Bennet, I just want to come back to you on all these issues. I mean, you're a moderate Democrat. I get that, but your party caucus doesn't really agree with you, does it? I mean, they're talking about raising taxes, no entitlement cuts, 1-for-1, 50% spending reduction, 50% tax increases. This is the part I don't understand. I know that you're a moderate Western Democrat, but your party doesn't seem to want to go along with that, and I'm worried that President Obama won't either.
Well, I think that there's a variety of opinion in the caucus, which I think is a good thing, not a bad thing. I think the idea that we would walk lockstep on any of these issues, I would regret it deeply if we did that as Democrats, just as I would regret it if Republicans walked in lockstep. We're in a situation here where the best product, I think, given this issue, ought to be bipartisan. Nothing would fill me with greater joy than having 30 Democrats and 30 Republicans, or 32 Republicans and 32 Democrats, supporting a plan that could actually get the confidence of the American people. The people of my state do not have confidence in either party's go-it-alone approach on this.
Well, did you vote? Are you voting yay or nay on this Senator Reid idea of a millionaires and billionaires tax, or sense of the Senate resolution, or whatever? What's your take on that?
I'll look at it tonight and make a decision about it. But my take, generally speaking, is that we could spend a lot of time together trying to figure out how to sort out a deal instead of having a lot of invective heaped on each other. And you know, I've gone to the floor day after day after day saying that. You know, John McCain went down there today. He's my assigned Republican mentor, and he talked about the Wall Street Journal piece, and I went down later and said, you know what, there's common ground on that. So we've got to find a way to get through this debt ceiling. We may not have time to do all of this before that, but if we can come to some agreement, I think not only can we get through the short-term issue, but we can actually begin to solve this problem.
All right, and last one, Mr. Barrasso, can you tell me that Republicans are not going to sign off on the tax increases? Is that the final word this evening?
That is the final word, Larry. You know, we both gave speeches on the Senate floor within the last hour, and where I agree with Senator Bennet, he said there's a lot of money sitting on the sidelines because of the uncertainty in the country today, and it's the uncertainty because of government, because of taxes, because of regulations, and because of the huge expenses of the health care law. So it's no surprise that that kind of money is sitting on the sidelines. We need certainty, and to me, this administration has taken a bad situation and made it worse.
All right, well, we will see how it turns out. Senator Bennet, Colorado, Senator Barrasso, Wyoming. I appreciate it, gentlemen. Very nice. Appreciate your time. All best on the debt deal.